Bienvenidos al Mister Franquicia Podcast, el podcast en español número 1 en el mundo maravilloso de las franquicias, conducido por su servidor Rafael Álvarez. Estamos en vivo desde el piso 85 del One World Trade Center desde la ciudad de Nueva York. Así que prepárese, que el programa va a comenzar. Greetings. Saludos. Welcome to another Mister Franquicia Podcast. We're live. Today we have a special guest. We're going to be talking about something so essential that now a lot of people need. Of course, maintaining their home and keeping up with the repairs of the home. So we have Mr. Todd Little, who he's originally from Ohio. Todd Little is firmly planted in Cincinnati. That's his home base. And while you may see him out and about his family, enjoying the great outdoors or hanging out in downtown Cincinnati, do not be fooled because, by his casual, easygoing style, he has been around for quite a while. He has 25 years of experience, studies the authority in mortgage and lending. That's is his specialty. He sees things that other industry professionals may overlook, allowing him to help thousands of homeowners purchase and refinance their home. Todd is passionate about finding creative financial solutions for his clients, no matter how complex. He utilizes his dedication to learning along with his experience and unparalleled insights to better understand the forces that drive interest rates. Wow. So he's really an expert in mortgage and helping people to, I guess, obtain mortgage. By staying up to date on the latest complexity of mortgage lending technology and also the cutting edge marketing techniques for real estate, Todd has become a vital resource for homeowners and realtors alike. So as you can see, he started really embracing the mortgage and the real estate industry. And then I guess he saw a great opportunity and connected that industry to what he's doing now, which in April 5th, 2022, Mr. Little became the CEO and the founder of Little Home Repair franchise, providing concierge home repair services to homeowners nationwide. So let's give a round of applause to Mr. Little, all the way from Cincinnati, Ohio. All right.
Thank you for having me on the show.
Oh, my friend, it's my pleasure. Welcome. I mean, you know that we've been having a lot of conversation lately, and we has been trying to find the time, and I'm glad that we're able to finally, find the time to talk about what you has been doing lately. I know that you just launched a great franchise business model that is going to help a lot of people nationwide, and I'm really, really, really happy, excited, and really proud of you, my friend. So tell us what before we start talking about franchising. I'd really like to get to know the person who is really, Todd Little. Which city? I guess you really born and raised in Cincinnati, Ohio, or where you come from, my friend?
Born and raised in Cincinnati. Diehard Reds fan, diehard Bengals fan. Been here my whole life. I spent, as you said, I spent 25 years in the mortgage industry and learned a lot while I was in that industry.
And how do you get into the mortgage industry? I mean, it has something that you do straight from college, while you were young teenager. I mean, how do you get involved in the real estate?
Well, before that career, I was actually selling cars. I was a general manager for a local dealership here in Cincinnati, and I sold 2 cars on a Saturday to a gentleman. That was on a Saturday, and the following Tuesday, He came into the dealership, took me to lunch, and recruited me to work in his business as a mortgage loan broker.
Fantastic, fantastic.
And that was the day
Y-
my life pretty much changed.
Interesting, interesting. I don't know if I mentioned to you, but you know that I have a special, uh, passion for the city of Cincinnati because it kind of embrace and open the doors to my buddy Albert Pujol, who has been playing there for quite a while and is now making history. Right, he made it to 700 home run. Right,
Yes, sir.
so so you went from real estate to mortgage, or from mortgage to real estate. Tell us more about that, and how you were able to connect and help so many people in that industry.
Well, in the mortgage business, you deal a lot with realtors, and realtors deal a lot with real estate. So that's how that kind of ties itself together. And during my 25 years in the real estate industry, there was not a week that went by that I didn't get requests from either the realtor or the homeowner or the customer. Who do you know that can paint? Who do you know that can put on a roof? Who do you know that can landscape? Who do you know that can fix driveways? And the questions were endless. And finding a contractor has always been a really, really tough nut to crack. Um, not only are you constantly looking for these people are constantly looking for contractors, but they're not sure when they hire these people if they're good contractors, if they're competent contractors, if they're licensed, if they're insured. And a lot of times the homeowner doesn't even take the time doesn't know to ask those questions. So that I started thinking about this business long before we opened it.
So technically, by being involved in the real estate industry, by helping and so many people to obtain a mortgage and buy the home, obviously you started connecting with a lot of homeowners, and you saw, I guess, the growing pain that they were going through in terms of finding competent repair people,
Oh,
people that can really help
absolutely. It was a daily grind. I mean, one of the loans that I became very good at was called an FHA 203K loan, and that's basically a rehab loan product that allows somebody to buy a house that's in disrepair and get the money from the bank to fix up the house. But in order to do that, you have to have your contractors lined up. And
them.
it just became very, very problematic because I would refer these contractors and I would give them names and phone numbers of contractors. I would follow up 2 weeks later, and these contractors still had not gotten back with my client yet. Um, and it was a problem with the realtors. It was a problem with the homeowners. It's a problem with property managers and landlords. I
Right.
think these people all over the country are facing the same problem.
Wow. So technically, most of the time, what happened to a lot of these homeowners that they didn't have the know-how or were not able to find a good contractor that will do the right thing? Some of them end up losing their money, end up
Well,
replacing.
ultimately, they'll end up hiring somebody because they've got to get the work done, and a lot of times the work gets done in a very poor manner. Um, the project's not completed on time. It runs over. They've got to have somebody come in and repair the repair because there's been mess ups and things that weren't quite right. There's a lot of catastrophes and there's a lot of money lost, a lot of money and a lot of time. And as you know, money and time are very precious.
Yeah, definitely, definitely, and it's sad when that happened. I mean, at least I've seen a lot of people that they hire the wrong contractor. They just go and work for a few days or a week, and then they disappear and never come back. I mean,
And
because
usually they have the client's money when they do that.
I know, I know, I know. So you develop a passion of helping the homeowners and really figure out a way how to walk them through the whole process from, I guess, finding the home, buying the house, helping them with the loan, and then at the end be able to connect them with a good contractor. That's how you started doing it?
That's exactly how it started. And then it became clear to me that there was such a need for this product, and that this need was not being filled by the companies that were currently out there. Um, you know, we'll get more into it, but in general, you got a lot of small contractors out there trying to make a living, and a lot of times, they haven't. It's not because they don't want to; they just don't have the know-how to how to set up their business. So they don't have signs, and they don't have business cards, and they don't have a business entity that's been registered with their state, and they're not filing their taxes properly, and they're not advertising on social media, and they're not advertising you know any kind of local campaigns, and they really are just flying by the seat of their pants, and they're
Wow.
just waiting for the next job to come in. And that's why come wintertime, they end up starving for jobs during certain months of the year. And I just thought to myself that there had to be a better way to fix this so that this problem didn't exist.
All right. So then you started looking for other alternative, other options, how to find a solution to a problem that you already identify. And then what happened? What was your solution? Okay, obviously you already identified the problem. Now the key is now to find a solution. How do you
Sure.
find a solution to that particular
Well, so
problem?
first thing I did is I started calling all of my homeowners that I've done business with over the last 25 years and asking them, a series of questions about their situation when they're looking for a contractor. What
Hmm.
was good, what was bad, what they found daunting, what was hard for them, what were their fears, what was happening once they found the contractor. And the answers I received from them were almost carbon copy answers all over the board. Um, Contractors showing up late, contractors not picking up the phone, contractors not showing up at all, contractors
Hmm.
showing up and walking through the house, getting the scope of work that needs to be done, and never ever getting a bid back to the client. Contractors not having the capacity to take credit cards. Um, Contractors not having the opportunity to offer financing to these customers. They're customers looking to do a 60, 80, $100,000 home remodel, and there's no financing available. That's, that's problematic. Contractors showing up in rusted, beat up old vans and trucks that should not be parked in somebody's driveway, leaking oil all over their driveway. Contractors showing up not properly dressed. I mean, the answers were so spot on with
Hmm.
every one of these homeowners. It was amazing. And then when I called all of my realtors and I started asking them, hey, what do you face when you're trying to get a house repaired? Because when they write contracts and the appraiser goes out or the inspector goes out and looks at the house and says, these 10 things have to be done before this house can be sold. They've
Hmm.
got to find a contractor to get that work done. And they faced virtually the same problems that the homeowner faced. Getting a hold of a contractor, getting them to show up on time, getting them to do the work that was specified in the work order. So after I had those interviews, then I decided to hunt down the contractors and ask them a series of questions
Hmm.
and say, look, this is what I hear from the homeowners. What is your answer to what these people are saying? And amazingly enough, they all said, when I asked, I said, have you ever been out at a job and to give an estimate and never ever got the estimate to the client? And the majority of the contractors answered yes. There were times where they never got an estimate back to the customer.
Wow.
And that to me was eye opening. And it wasn't because they're not good people. It was because they are not organized. They're not, they don't have a secretary. They don't have an office. They're working from home. They don't get home till 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night.
Hmm.
And by then, they've got family time, they've got kids and a wife that they have to deal with, and then they just run out of time. They flat out run out of time because they don't have the organizational skills and or they're not interested in that part of the business. They just want to go out and swing the hammer. They just want to go out and do the job. That's
Mhm.
their motivation.
So then, after identifying all of these issues and recognizing obviously what the contractors were not doing well, I guess you decided to make a move and decided to, I guess, take this to the next level. So you decided to establish a franchise. Talk
Absolutely.
to us about your franchise. What is Little Home Repair? Let me show the website so people can see what you tell us about your concierge, you know, services that the franchise system that you created is providing.
So, little home repair, the concept is that the franchisee will be able to go out to the homeowner's home. Let's say the homeowner calls for to have a new wood floor put in their kitchen. Well, when the franchisee goes out to the house, of course they're gonna give the estimate for the floor to be installed, but they're also gonna let the customer know that they are the home repair concierge. So whatever repair or remodel project that the homeowner wants to complete, they're the guy, right? They're going to let the homeowner know, look, and if it's something that's out of my scope of work, I'm going to take the heavy load off of you so you don't have to go find that person. I will make sure to get the right person in here to do the job. I'll manage the project. I'll make sure everything's complete to your satisfaction before we pay out the money to the contractors.
Interesting, interesting. So basically, the franchisees in this case, and by the way, so people get to know. I know that you're making a lot of changes, and I know that maybe we should make an official announcement here. I know that Little Home Repair now is becoming part of the Latinx franchise brand, and now it's gonna take this brand and take it to the next level. I
Very,
know
very exciting merger taking place.
definitely, and I know that there are changes being made on the FDD. The FDD has been officially approved as of what is it, April 5th. I have the FDDs here. I believe it was approved. What is the date here? April 5th for 2022. So, how much is the franchising fee right now?
Well, the franchising fee right now is $45,000.
Okay. And royalties, how much royalties people paying? I'm trying to see if I can find item 7. Uh, Go ahead.
Well, under the current model, the royalty fee is a monthly fee of $499 a month.
All right. All right. And the goal is that the client will that are interested in having um someone that can help them to keep up with their maintenance of the home. I guess they will contact, they call the main number of the franchise system, and from there, the franchise refers send what are the franchisees
Correct.
and
So
how is the service
the
provided. So, walk us through the whole process. Let's say someone that is listening and they want to be able to hire one of the franchisees to provide to his or her home maintenance or repairs. How walk us through that process?
so they'll call Little Home Repair. The franchisee will go out and meet the client. And when the franchisee meets the client, they'll find out what the client needs to have done, um, and they'll complete that project, and then they'll ask the homeowner if there's any other projects that they've been thinking about, or if there's any home maintenance items that they need to that they need help with. Um, the ultimate goal by the beginning of the year with Little Home Repair is to launch a preventative maintenance program. And with that preventative maintenance program, it's going to be a monthly fee that the client pays each month. And our home repair concierge will show up once a month and take care of a entire list of items each month to make sure that the homeowner's home is um,
Very interesting. So people will be paying like a subscriptions in a way, like Netflix, I guess. You pay a monthly fee, and then um, how is that work? So you pay a monthly fee, and based on is everything is gonna get repaired, or some of the item, are there any additional fee that they will have to pay, or they
Yeah,
how is
so,
that really
so,
work?
so figure like just when you take your car in for an oil change, you pull in for an oil change,
Correct.
and the fellow walks over to your car and he says, "Hey, I know you pulled in for an oil change, but by the way, Mr. Alvarez, your interior cabin filter needs to be replaced. This is what it looks like. Is that something you'd like to do today? That's going to be $49.95." And you say, "Well, of course. I need to make sure my filter's clean, or your windshield wipers need replaced,
Mhm,
or you've got a car that's not aligned properly." And
mhm.
so it's always going to be things that homes need to be maintained in order not to have major repair costs.
To prevent the big
Preventative
ones.
maintenance.
Yeah, the maintenance, the big ones that usually are the one that hurts the most, right?
Correct. So when our guy shows up and he walks around the house, and he showed up to let's just say he showed up to it's February. He showed up to change the furnace filter and clean out the dryer vent, and check some water pipes, and a whole entire list of other things. But he's also going to walk around the house, and maybe there's ice in a gutter that's causing the gutter to possibly fall off the roof, or there's a hole in the gutter. He's going to let the homeowner know, "Look, Mr. Homeowner, you've got a potential problem over here. I took some pictures here. Take a look at it. This is what it would cost for me to fix that. Would you like me to go ahead and do that?"
Interesting, very interesting. So, but obviously, nationwide, not everybody has a home. I'm assuming that besides homeowners, will this model, your franchise business model, also work in city like New York City, let's say, where I'm at, that
Absolutely.
majority
So
of the people have an apartment? How that works with an
100%.
apartment?
So this is meant to help homeowners, landlords, property managers, across the board, whether it be a home or a condo or an apartment, whatever the space may be. These spaces need preventative maintenance. They require preventative maintenance.
100%, definitely, 100%. I mean, as a homeowner, I can tell you, it's like a not end. You fix one thing, and then two more things, go wrong, that you have to fix. It's like always constantly keeping up, and then if you ignore some of those little things, then they become major, and
Correct.
then you will be sorry. I should really take care of this before it became such a big as a big headache. So
Absolutely.
so if someone is interested in looking for the services, is that the number that I see here in your website that people have to
Yes,
call?
that is correct.
The 513-888-0583, and I have listed here the website littlehomerepair.com in case of someone wants to really go and look at your website and really see what you guys have to offer, and obviously if they could find the nearest location of anybody that can really help them. And how much is the monthly fee right now, that the one that you mentioned, for the concierge service that they have to pay to sign in?
So one more time. So you're talking about like the preventative maintenance.
Correct, yeah, that one.
So the preventative maintenance program right now is $129 a month.
Okay, $129, and then someone will go do an estimate and see what needs a repair.
They'll
So
they'll they'll show up at the consumer's house once a month. There'll be a list of items that they perform each month that are part of that service. And then while they're there, they're gonna inspect other things that could require repair, that could require replacement. But it's just a way for the homeowner to keep up on the things that need to be done in their home, so that they don't end up with major repair bills. I mean, let's just say that somebody's roof is 2 years away from needing to be replaced. Well, it'd be nice for me to be able to tell you about that today, so that you can be thinking about that for the next 2 years. Knowing when I say, "Hey, Mr. Alvarez, within the next 24 months, you're going to need to replace your roof," right?
uh-huh.
And so you don't have to do it today. I'm not saying you have to do it right now, but in the next 2 years, you're going to want to put a new roof on. Well, when the time comes, that homeowner is going to call our concierge and say, "Look, I'm ready to put that new roof on."
And what are the major repairs? I know the roof is one of them. Any of the big ones that usually homeowners should really be on the lookout?
Well,
You
you've
know,
got you've got HVAC, um, which is your air conditioner and your furnace, and
and the
that a lot,
and
a
the
lot of
heating, right?
times there's situations where people have to replace them because they never change the air filter. They never kept it clean. They never kept it maintained. You've got water heaters. Homes have water heaters and that have to be maintained and should be drained once a year to get the sediment out of it. If you don't drain them once a year, you could be looking at replacing a water heater in, every 7 or 8 years. So you've got water pipes freezing in the winter. You've got outdoor hose bibs that can cause problems. Yep. So there's probably 150 small things that we can do to keep the customer from having major repair bills. Windows, right? Seal your windows.
I'm assuming that one of the most common repair jobs has to do with the bathroom, right? Or under the sink, the kitchen sink, right? Because of the use and we use it so much and so often that sooner or later it's going to start leaking, right?
So it's just making sure that that things are tight and things are the fittings are tight. I mean, it's not hard. It's just, again, that's preventative maintenance.
Well, I see a tremendous opportunity. I see a tremendous value here that you bring for homeowner, because definitely not everybody is in a handy man or a handy person that knows how to do it all. Sometimes people try to fix things, and instead of fixing it, they make it worse sometimes, like it happens to me. It happens to me in my house, as a matter of fact. What was that? I decided to replace one of something on the toilet. The toilet was running water without stopping, and I said, let me fix this.
But you're not a plumber.
I'm not a plumber, so guess what happened? I try to close the water that goes into the toilet bowl, the thing,
right,
into the So I put too much pressure, and I end up breaking the whole ball. Yeah. So water started, coming out like crazy. So I have to shut down the whole water in the house, and then call a plumber that can come and replace that little ball, that little piece.
And my friend, you are not alone. That's happened to a lot of people.
Yeah, I noticed a lot. That it's very fragile because it's like a copper little pipe, right? And it has this little tiny, valve. That fitting. Yeah, that if you put too much pressure, you're gonna break it. I mean, that's really what happened to me. But I learned the hard way. But it could happen to anybody, and that's why you guys, as an expert, are trying to prevent. Leave the expert to really take care of the job. And what your franchise system, Todd, is doing is basically making it a lot easier for homeowners, so they don't have to break their head or try to really go crazy when something major happen in the house.
See what actually happens, though. The homeowner has a project that needs to be done, so they get on the phone, and it's their priority that day to find a contractor. Well, they're not able to get a hold of anybody. So then it goes on a few more days, and then they try it again. And then they still can't get a hold of a contractor, or a contractor doesn't show up. And now we're 2-3 weeks, then they forget about it, and then that's when situations spiral out of control. And then that person went from having a $500 repair to having a $5,000 or $8,000 repair because it did tremendous amount of more damage.
Is this a very competitive field from your point of view? I know that there are a few other franchise system in the same space.
Well,
but also you are competing with a lot of the do-it-yourself type of guys or ladies that like to do it themselves, that they hate to hire somebody else, right? When you competing with all of those, it's very competitive. There's still plenty room to make money in this business as a franchise.
Absolutely not. When we launch this nationally, we're going to have more franchises nationally than anybody else in the country. But what's going to set us apart is our 5-star concierge service. While we're striving to provide 5-star concierge service, all the rest of the people are just striving to exist. And that's going to be the difference. That's what's going to set Little Home Repair apart from everybody else in the industry. Our guys are going to be answer the phone when you call. They're going to set the appointment. They're going to show up when their appointment's scheduled for. They're going to show up with a nice shirt. They're going to show up with a logoed vehicle in the driveway. They're going to be prepared to give the customer their estimate the same day they're there, 90% of the time, which means they can close more sales and they can close more clients. And once we close a client, once that client becomes our client, It's a lifelong relationship because we are going to become their home repair concierge. We're going to shut everyone else out of opportunities when we become their home repair concierge.
We are talking to Todd Little. He's the CEO and founder of Little Home Repair franchise based out of Cincinnati, Ohio. Very unique, very interesting concept. And I'm really looking forward. I think we're going to have a lot of fun with this. Todd, definitely. I see the potential. I see, your secret sauce in a way, the way it's called in the industry. And I really wish you, the best of the best, my friend. I think that this is great, and I'm happy to get to know you, and thank you for taking time and coming to our podcast.
I really appreciate the opportunity.
Oh, definitely, definitely. So there you have it. If you're interested and want to learn more about the Little Home Repair franchise, just visit the website www.littlehomerepair.com, and you can find a lot of information. And if you're interested in becoming a franchisee, I'm sure that you can also connect with the headquarters office, as well as if you are looking for someone that can help you with maintaining all your repairs, maintaining your home, and keeping up with the repairs at home. So that's all I have for today, guys. I'm looking forward. Todd, I wish you good luck. I'm sure that no doubt you're gonna do very well. I see the potential, and I'm looking forward for the relationship. And thank you once again for taking the time of participating in our podcast. Until
Thank
next
you
time,
again, Mr. Alvarez. I appreciate it.
my pleasure. Muchas gracias por escuchar nuestro podcast. Esperamos que la información haya sido de su agrado. Manténgase en sintonía, síganos en todas las plataformas de social media y visite nuestra página en el internet www.misterfranquicias.com. Hasta la próxima.